Hey everyone, Christian here, and I'm going to try and start a vlog away from the plants that I want to show just because there's a little bit of road noise during the day here. I thought about doing this video at night, but doing it in the dark is a little bit sketchy just because cars come through here fairly fast and they may not see me walking around. So I am here in kind of the edge between Venice and the town to the north of it called Nokomis, and this area was known in the 20th century for having a lot of orange groves, which you can still see over here. They don't really produce many oranges, and they still have a farm stand where they sell orange juice, and they make orange ice cream or orange something like that, orange sherbet. But anyways, that's not the point of the film. There's actually a nice papaya there too, but I'm basically trying to film from a historical viewpoint, and so this area was all owned by one family called the Albritons, and I believe that's how that was their last name, and that's the name of the farm and where the orange juice comes from. So I'm just going to assume that's where the family name was. So they owned all this land here, and this is all pretty much just used for it's a mixture of just mobile home kind of areas and open farmland and just open fields, and it's not really used for much of anything. It's just kind of an open space now. So, but amongst here, you can see this lot is just completely empty. It looks like something was once going on in this area, but is no longer. There's just live oak trees, which look great, and basically just grass growing. It's just totally unkept, which is fine because it's just an open field. And I'm not going to go too far in there. There's a no trespassing sign, so I'm going to keep a few feet away from the road, and that's about it. And you can see here that there's actually quite a bit of Rhapis excelsa, lady palm, and this shows that at one point this area was used for something. Now it's just an empty corner at a relatively busy traffic intersection, and now it is. I mean, yeah, now that's what it is. But before, at some point, this may have been where the farm stand was, because back before maybe air conditioning, this is a lot of overhead canopy, and it's actually quite cool here, even though it's going to be 80 degrees. It might be 70 underneath the canopy, even though 80 is not that hot, especially by Florida standards. So, and over here, if we walk this way, the clumps are kind of a little bit more condensed, and there's a lot of non-native plants growing in the area. So you have all this Rhapis here. This is exposed to some more sun, so you see the stuff in the front is a little bit lighter green, and the stuff back there is a little bit darker green. And this gets no irrigation, no fertilizer, and it just continues to kind of grow and grow on its own. And here we have Ravenala Madagascariensis, traveler's tree. There's a couple main trunks, but the main one right here is quite large. I bet if you were to trim this up, it would look amazing. But for it just to be randomly growing here would just not be just wouldn't be by chance. That wouldn't just happen. And then we actually have a kapok tree here, which you see here. You see these thorny edges on the trunk? They kind of go away with time. You can see they kind of just wear down and turn into this little nubs. But when this was younger, you don't want to get near this. It is quite spiny. Actually, some of them are still pretty nasty right there. So someone planted these in the past. It could have been 30 or 40 years ago. There's actually a mango tree right there. You can see it. It's quite large. So you can tell that this place was once used for quite a number of things, just for planting, and I assume it could almost have been some sort of like fairground or festival area. So it's interesting to find out what this once was. It's hard to really find that out unless you really do a lot of research or know someone that's lived in the area for like 40 years. So right here you can actually see there's a Florida native Cycad. That could have been planted there, that could be native. I'm gonna guess it was planted there. That's Zamia floridana. And just other little, I think they call this a firecracker bush. I'm not very familiar with bushes that are not native to Florida. This is not native. There's also pothos vine growing up a lot of these live oak trees. So, but when you look around, there's actually some Sansevieria, which you may not be familiar with the name, but Sansevieria is the mother-in-law's tongue, and we'll walk by here and take a look actually a lot of more chunks in this Ravenala than I thought. But if you look from here, I mean, it's a pretty tall plant. It's as tall as the light pole. That's got to be 20 something feet. So there's just a ton of rhapis here. That's a huge, I didn't even realize, I just came by here. I didn't realize just how large this kapok tree is. It's absolutely massive. I mean, it's one of the largest ones I've seen in the area. I mean, in the area at all. See the bright red flowers? You can see them on the ground here too. But this is actually a relatively industrial area. There's some commercial zoned areas to the west here, and but even right here next to this live oak, there's just a little seedlings. Probably what happened was this thing actually produced seed, and squirrels buried some seed over here for later, and they ended up germinating. So again, I apologize for the road noise. Not much I can do about it. Even with a lapel mic, it wouldn't really change very much. So, but it's just kind of nice to kind of wander through here and see a mixture. I mean, I wish it was, completely native, but these are really not that invasive. They're not going to take over. But the buttressing on these kapoks, if you guys had noticed, you saw that the trunk kind of like, made this little side that would kind of come out, and when they're exposed, they're not because of all the bushes. They actually look quite amazing. So back here near my vehicle, you will see this Sansevieria, and this is actually an invasive, but it's very easy to grow. If you're in Florida and you see this, try and dig up a little clump. It'll grow just like cactus. Sansevieria, I don't know what species this is, but basically, they just grow like any running plant. They'll just have little rhizomes. You dig them up, plant them in a pot, and no one takes care of this, and they're totally happy. They don't even look like they're distressed at all. So, and there's actually a whole hedge of it across the street. So, it's pretty. You can see over here it says no trespass. This was an old orange grove. You can see the dead citrus trees over there, and I'm guessing there might have been an orange grove here as well, but maybe in the back. But in the front here, there's just too much shade. They would not have planted. Citrus trees don't like having any shade when growing, so this was probably used as something else, but it was used for something. So you can kind of go through, I guess the point of this video is, if you see non-native plants, especially palms, growing in an area that seems like it shouldn't be there, there was probably a use for that land sometime in the past. And when I drive by here, I always wonder what that was. Asking people that have been here, 30 years, they don't really know. So it was probably sometime mid-20th century. People coming through here. This road has always been here. Albee Farm was has been around since probably before World War II, and just remnants of it exist today. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Look for some rogue plantings. It's always fun to see what's going on. And if you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel and you find looking at tropical plants, especially palms, interesting, go ahead and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I do go live a lot. If you have any questions about rogue plantings or historical plantings, leave a comment down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.